Welcome to RI Housing presents the 2024 Legends of Lending, where we highlight the top producers of Rhode Island housing products. Now, today we have a very special guest. Out of hundreds of loan officers who offer our products, this is the #1 lender for Rhode Island housing. So I'd like to introduce Mauricio Garces with Primary Residential Mortgage, our top lending partner for 2024. Welcome, Mauricio.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're excited to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. A couple of questions to kind of get to know you better, maybe your best practices, how you got so successful at your craft, and especially in regards to Rhode Island housing loans. First question is, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in the industry?
A bit too long. It's been it's been 25 years that I started. I started in 1999.
Okay.
And I actually got recruited right out of college. I finished college a little later than I should,
Okay.
but I got recruited, and I've been loving it ever since, just because I wanted to work in Wall Street and doing that kind of stuff. I ended up falling into mortgages, and I like the connection with the people, and we're helping people directly with this.
So okay, yeah. So there's a little bit of a connection, the financial aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And 25 years, congratulations. That's incredible. Obviously, to your success. Obviously, you're an expert at what you're doing. This is one of my favorite questions. I like to kind of find out what people do to kind of make them stand out in their craft. So what are some habits that you've developed that help you succeed at what you do?
One of my big things is I work very hard. I work long hours, but I go in with a purpose. I always do a lot of time management, and I just, one of the big things that I do is I always make sure, even when I'm really busy, I always make sure that I call people back at some point. So they might not be able to get me right there and then, but I always call them back. And now I'm set up with a couple of assistants, which makes it so much easier.
Okay.
So it's just the processes will be just work hard, and always, put the work in.
Okay. I mean, it sounds simple, but it sounds like you have a best practices of what you're doing day in and day out. And also setting the expectation of maybe you can't get to someone right away, but they know that, you've got your finger on the pulse of what they need to hear back from you. So that's great. Now, Mauricio, you set the goal of being a top Rhode Island housing producer, which you have year over year. If you had any advice to maybe a newer loan officer who's looking to start promoting our products, what advice would you give regarding our products to a new LO?
One big thing is to get educated. It's not that much to learn, but really get educated on all the benefits that come with Rhode Island house. Honestly, just helping people that might not be able to get a house otherwise, and that is so satisfying. So I think that kind of drives me every time to just keep going. And if they have that positive mentality that you're helping people, and Rhode Island housing is a great place to partner with, sky's the limit. I mean, I've been doing well for years with housing because of that mindset.
Yeah, and you can, just knowing you just a little bit that I've known, you can tell that you really do care about people. You put them first. And ultimately, we both know it's a very stressful transaction. There's a lot that happens. But when people know that you've got their best interests, they're going to tell their friends and their family, and I'm sure that's how you get a lot of your business.
Yes, yeah. Most of my business is actually referral, not necessarily from realtors, although I have plenty of good realtors.
Yeah.
But it's from clients. The clients see that you care, and they'll send their kids and their brother and everyone else. And most of them happen to be first-time home buyers. I think 95% of my production, so to speak, are first-time home buyers. So
and that's great. They keep you at top of mind. So if they have a family member that's looking to purchase, they think of
they go right to me.
Awesome. Right. So we all know we can't do this alone, right? You work long hours. I know you say always a line out your office. But tell us about your team and the involvement for your success in our programs. Like how is your team kind of helping in there?
Well, the team is my secret weapon, so to speak. I started with my two assistants, Amanda and Ashanti, just underwriting, everything, processing. It's all just one goal. We're all together in one goal to help the person buy their home. And so we all have our little parts in it, but as a team, we're able to. So, being #1, it's not just because I work all those hours.
Right.
#1 is because I also have the team behind me that's helping me get there to help people.
And they're on the same page. You guys are experts in our program. So, you might come up with something that maybe maybe a rare occurrence, but you guys know how to handle these things once it's presented.
Correct. Yeah, we've seen because I do so many, so many, just so much volume. We've seen all sorts of different issues that arise, and we're able to tackle them all because we've seen them before, and just kind of. And sometimes people are not ready to buy yet. So I'll coach them as to what to do to come back and see us, 3 months later. Then they'll be better, and then we can go ahead.
Right, so you can kind of guide them, hold their hand through the process, and get them over the finish line.
Yeah.
All right, now everyone has, I'm sure there's quite a lot of them, but that one feel-good success story. Can you tell us about one of yours that you have with the Rhode Island Housing Program?
Yeah, I've had a ton, but I have one right now.
Okay.
Just really young. They just had a baby. They have a 3.5-month-old baby. We're gonna probably post this Friday on the loan, but they really, I mean, you just see how grateful they are because they never. A lot of their friends and family had told them that no, you can't buy a house. They came to see me. I said, there's a lot of experts out there on the street, but the real expert is here. That's what I told them. And I'm going to be able to close their loan next week. And they're ecstatic. They just can't wait to get in there. We're going to get it in time so that they can go on the first and not have to pay another month rent. But that's the kind of story that I want to help, especially, those first time home buyers that are looking to finally get into a home. It's the American dream.
It's one of the biggest purchases, and it's life-changing. So that's a great story. All right, last question, and you're off the hot seat here. A little bit of controversy. Cats or dogs?
I would have to say dogs because I've been kind of almost forced into dogs because my daughter has 3 dogs.
Okay.
So even though I like dogs, I don't like dogs like that, but she loves them. So she's
okay.
So I have 3 dogs now.
All right, you're a first dog person, so a little love for the dog people. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that brings us to the end. Mauricio, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for partnering with Rhode Island Housing. We appreciate it. That will do it for this installment of RI Housing Presents The Legends of Lending. We'll see you next time.